Beyond the visual riches of Manali, there is a mountain. In the neighborhood of some tall and majestic peaks of the region. The route to the summit of this peak has a challenging terrain and many difficulties. In the month of September, a climber has to cross frequent rivers, risky rockfall zones, and crevasses on his way up to the top. Though it is a trekking peak and a beginner level expedition, it demands a strong team and weeks of preparation to scale this majestic mountain. At Invincible, the largest trekking organization of India, we prepare and sponsor a team every year to promote mountaineering in the state of Gujarat. This year, it was Mt Jagatsukh. In the past, we had already climbed peaks like Mount Friendship and Mount Unam a couple of times. And before this expedition, we had done rock climbing to some of the most difficult pinnacles like Vajir, the Duke's Nose and Telbela. But this expedition is quite different. Starting from Jagatsukh village, this is a 5-day long expedition and we will be camping at 3 different campsites, Chika, Seri and Tenta. Tenta will be the advanced base camp from where we will be doing the summit push. Manali, the adobe for travelers and adventure seekers. And obviously, it is one of the most visited hill stations of India. Snow-clad panoramic backdrop of Dhauladhar and lush green valleys attract lot of tourists round the year. On a beautiful morning of September 2020, we reached our base camp. The atmosphere was pleasant. We unloaded our equipment and conducted a mandatory health checkup followed by equipment testing and issuing them.
इस सीज़न में ख़ास तौर से जुलाई अगस्त के बाद क्रैक्स डेवलप हो जाती है। जो क्रैक्स की जो विड्थ हैं वो 4-6 इंच से शुरू करके 15-20 फीट तक की हो सकती है। इसको क्या बोला जाता है? क्रेवास। तो ट्रैकिंग के टाइम पे ये हो सकता है कि बाय मिस्टेक अगर किसी का क्रेवास के अंदर फॉल हो गया तो उसको बाहर निकालने के लिए, रेस्क्यू करने के लिए हम इसका यूज़ करते हैं।
After an early morning wake up and breakfast, we set out for the trailhead. In an hour or so, we reached the dam site, which is the trek start point.
Okay, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, अभी हम जाएंगे आगे, ठीक है? उसके लिए जो हम आपके साथ हमारे लीडर रहेंगे, वो है इनम सर.
Inam Thakur, a very experienced mountaineer, was the lead guide for this expedition, along with Yashpal Singh Negi. The DO was assisted by Sonu Kaushal, our local administrator for all activities in and near Manali. Day 1 of the climb is shorter comparatively, and the first camp was set in Chika. A beautiful stream was flowing by the campsite and birds chirping make the atmosphere lively here.
आज मौसम साफ है, हो सकता है आने वाले दिनों में मौसम खराब हो। साइड में पहुंच के क्या करना है आपको टेंट लेना है और अपने लिए टेंट पिच करना है।
The day started with a stretching and warm-up session followed by a good breakfast. The atmosphere was clear and we started trekking for the next camp. The trek was alongside the flowing stream known as Duhangan Nala. The best thing about Invincible's altitude guides is that they know how to play with the climber's energy levels. Slowly, team crossed the tree line and entered a totally new terrain. It was full of boulders and surrounded by some thorn-like sharp peaks all around us. It was a kind of fairyland. It took almost 6 hours to reach the Seri campsite. Approaching to Seri, the slopey climb comes to an end and an endless grassland comes to your sight. After trekking for the full day and all the struggles, the delicious dinner is something you crave for, and hence the day ends happily. The morning brings hope and warmth to the campsite. The sun rays make people feel alive and energized. We wrapped up the campsite and started trekking. The weather was fabulous and the team along with support staff and mules left the campsite for the next destination, Tenta. The first challenge was to cross a freezing cold river. Nested in the upper end of the largest grassland ever we had visited, the splendid gushing waterfall astonished everyone. It makes us realize how small we are compared to the Mother Nature and its creations. After an inclined climb, we entered another plain. We were moving slowly, which helped our bodies to acclimatize easily. One of the experiences the people will never forget was to cross the river. We had to cross it 3 times before we reached the final camp, the Tenta base. The summit was clearly visible now, and we were surrounded by some of the majestic mountains like Devtibba, Mount Norbu, and Duhangan Kol. The last night was quite windy and freezing. Sleeping at such high altitude with minus 12 degree of temperature and less oxygen, it was no surprise that many of us woke up with mild headache. But this is quite natural for such heights. The first half of the day was spent for better acclimatization and equipment allocation. As many of the climbers are beginners, the guides took them to nearby ice patches and taught them how to use ice axe, crampons and basic maneuvers. The second half was for rest. The clouds play was incredible and beautiful day ended with an early dinner. When the lead guide gave us the call, it was 12 in the midnight. We woke up, dressed up quickly, had some hot breakfast and set out for the summit push. The stream was flowing higher than our expectations, and it took a lot of time and efforts to those freezing temperatures to find a safe way.
यशपाल सर, हम यहाँ थोड़ा सा हॉल्ट ले रहे हैं, तो सबका वेट करेंगे यहाँ पे. ओवर.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Rishiraj Muri here. And now we are going towards the goal. We will get the ridge in next 40-45 minutes. And then 1.5 hours and we'll be on the top. Jagatsukh peak summited. Chalo fir.
We were moving with a good pace. It was a calm and beautiful night. Stars were blinking in the dark night sky and the beauty of twilight was amazing. Early in the morning, the team reached the first boulder zone and we had to fix the first rope there. The moving rocks were dangerous and the rest of the team was directly in the line of fall. The guides actively and precisely navigated all to the shoulder ridge. The summit was just in front of us. But the shoulder ridge was a kind of fault line. Navigating through huge free-moving rocks was risky and time-consuming. As higher we go, the dry cold wind blows through the ears and dehydrates body. By the time we reached the crampon point, many of us were exhausted. Some of them decided to quit from there. Climb the mountain not to plant your flag, but to embrace the challenge, enjoy the air, and behold the view. Climb it so you can see the world, not because the world can see you.
आराम से, आराम से.
सर पीछे वाले को थोड़ा जल्दी आ जाएंगे तो बहुत सबका कंप्लीट हो जाएगा. ओवर.
ये पीछे के 4 हैं, उन्होंने क्विट कर दिया है, उनका नहीं वेट कर रहे हैं. मैं लास्ट में हूँ, शायद आप मुझे देख पा रहे होंगे. ओवर. बस डाउन दे. हाँ चलो 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 मैडम. हाँ नहीं पकड़ो इसको ऐसे. चलो चलो चलो.
તું શેર હે ભાઈ શેર ટેકનિક શીખવાડું છું બહુ મોટું હે સાંભળ કંઈ નથી મોટું સાંભળ આગળ ઝૂકવાનું નહીં સીધા ઉભા રહીને હાલવાનું 30 સ્ટેપ્સ ગણવાના પછી જ રેસ્ટ લેવાનું ચાલો
Nothing is as rewarding as the flag on the summit.
भारत माता की जय, माता की जय, भारत माता की
October 3, 2020, 11 am, and the team Invincible became the first Gujarati expedition to climb Mt Jagatsukh. Out of 39, 24 climbers made it to the top. Pooja Joshi from Rajkot became the only Gujarati girl to summit this peak, and Hit Kansagra became the youngest one at the age of 15. People always ask, why do we climb? This expedition defined what we are, what moral do we possess, and what we are gonna become in the life. When difficulties struck, either you break down or you fight back. This expedition taught us team spirit, brotherhood, and never give up attitude. Being invincible means a lot, and the mountains know that. Jai Hind.